Pull my hair with me while I'll tell you about this crazy lady I had at work. So I work at an ice cream shop and I'm only 17, so I'm a minor. So this lady comes in on a weekday morning shift, which I don't usually work. They're usually like adults that work there because it's like we're open all year round, we're open all day. There's adults that work there and I don't take her order. She orders a strawberry shake, okay? I make the strawberry shake. No one told me to make it with real strawberries or not real strawberries. So I just make it how I would make it, and I just make it with syrup, which, okay, yeah, I was wrong for because I guess that's not actually how we're supposed to make them. Like, it does matter. So I take her shake out after I've made it, and she's kind of like, she's not happy with me. She opens it, and she's like, this isn't right. And I was like, oh, okay. She said, that's supposed to be real strawberries. And I said, oh, okay. Which, I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe I had an attitude, maybe I was rude. But I wasn't mad at her, I was just irritated that, like, she didn't say real strawberries. No one told me to make it with real strawberries. So I remake it for her, and I'm like, here you go, have a good day. And then that's that. Like, I thought that was the end of it. It was whatever. Like, she wasn't even, I mean, she was kind of rude to me that day, but she wasn't, like that rude. So after that, I didn't really think much of it because I was like, it's just a shake, and I remade it for her, so it's whatever. And this was like, it was like a weekday on like, I don't know, I want to say like a Thursday or something. Maybe a Wednesday. And then I worked again. It was like a Saturday night. It was a Saturday night. I literally work at an ice cream shop in the middle of summer, and it's hot. Like, it's hot out, and we're busy. And she comes through. Again, I don't take her order. I don't take her order at all. Someone else takes her order and is like, oh, she was kind of rude at the window. And I was like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna make her shake and get out of here. She orders another strawberry shake, and I make it with real strawberries and a little bit of syrup because that's actually how we're supposed to make them. Okay, I admit I'm wrong on the first one. That's actually how we're supposed to make them. And I made it right, and I took it out to her, and she was like, this isn't right. And I was like, she opens it and goes, these are not real strawberries. I said, I made that with real strawberries. Mind you, now that I'm out there, I know who she is, and I know she's not very nice, like, at all. She's not nice, literally at all. Like, she was rude to the person who took her order, and he's a cook. He doesn't even do ice cream, really. So he was like, oh, yeah, she was kind of rude. And I was like, okay, I'll take it out. And, like, again, mind you, we're in the middle of a rush. It's like 7 o'clock. Like, this is prime ice cream hours. Ugh, this one's bad. Prime ice cream hours, and she's like, this isn't right. This is the second time I've dealt with you, and I want to speak to a manager. And I was like, we don't have a manager on shift. Like, we have an owner. We're a small business. We're, like, locally owned. We have an owner, so we don't really have a manager on shift, which I've been there longest, so basically I'm the manager. So I'm like, well, we don't have a manager. I can call our owner. And she was like, yes, I'm going to report you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, whatever. Report me. So she wants me to go, I'm doing this one the wrong way. She wants me to go remake her shake, so I'm like, okay. I call my boss because she's going to report me. So I'm like, I'm going to call my boss and I'm going to let her know what's going on. So I call my boss and she's like, okay, blah, 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 blah. She wants me to, since it's a large, like this is 24 ounces, this is almost $5 shake. And I made it right, and I told her I made it with real strawberries and a little bit of syrup. And my boss was like, okay, just put some more, like, real strawberries on the top and mix it in and give it back to her. Like, we're busy. Like, she knows we're busy. It's a Saturday night. And then this lady also wanted her refund. Like, she wanted her money back. So I go out and I give her the new shake, and she said, this is not right, again, like, yelling at me. This is not right. Like, I want my money back. I want your boss. I'm gonna report you. And I'm like, okay, I can give you your money back. I can give you your $4.91, and you can keep the shake I made right. Like, you can have it. So I'm not a very confrontational person, so I was like, I mean, she was yelling at me, so I was getting defensive because I made it right. And like, okay, wrong, I had an attitude, it's whatever. But like, I go back inside and I'm like shaking, and then I give her money back, and I'm just like, I start crying because I can't help it, because she was yelling at me for like 3 minutes about her shake being wrong when I made it right. And there's people watching me, my coworkers are watching me get yelled at, because like, I mean, they can't really do anything because she's yelling at me. I made her shake wrong. And I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So then I go back out with her money, which is stupid. Like, I give, like, not stupid that I'm giving her money back. I'm giving her money back, and she takes a picture of me. And I'm like, no. So I'm like, before I can even process, like, I'm already giving her money back. Like, she has her shake, she has her money back. And I'm like, delete that picture of me. She said, no, I'm going to report you. I said, okay, I'm a minor, and I would like you to delete that picture of me. And she said, no, I'm going to report you. I said, okay, then I'm going to call the cops. She said, okay, call the cops. I didn't call the cops. I should have, but I didn't. But my coworker, we have like a walk-up window. She's in our drive-thru. So she has the walk-up window open so she can hear everything that's going on. Like, she can hear me getting yelled at. So I'm like, call our boss. Like, call our boss. And she's like, she comes and brings me her phone. I call my boss, so my boss can hear her yelling at me. And she's like, this is the second time I've dealt with you. This is not right. I'm going to report you. And I'm like, can you delete that picture of me? And she's like, no. And she's like, I want to talk to your boss. And I was like, okay, she's on her way. By the time, like, my boss has already hung up because that's all she needed to hear. She was in her car on her way. Like, and she lives like 10 minutes away, though. So the lady's like, I'm not waiting. I'm leaving. She can call me. And I'm like, how is she going to call you if she doesn't have your number? She's like, oh, don't worry, I'll call. And I'm like, okay, bye. Leave. And like, we have a drive-thru, and it's like, we don't have a whole lot of room to like pull people forward and stuff. So I'm like, this is like when she's on the phone with my boss. She's like, I'm like, can you pull forward so we can get our other customers? She's like, no, I'm not going anywhere. And I'm like, okay. Okay, whatever. You're just wasting my time. And there's like this truck behind her, and I guess they were just like jaws to the floor the whole time she was yelling at me. And then I go back in, and I'm just like crying again. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then before my boss gets there, she's like, hi, I just came by earlier, and I was wondering if your manager or boss was there. Girl. And I'm like, bro. Someone, like, the guy who took her order answered the phone and was like, no, but she's on her way, so she should be here soon if you want to call back. And she's like, okay. Are you for real? Where was that energy when you were yelling at me? And then my boss comes, and then she's like talking to me about it, and I'm like still crying. I'm like shaking, I'm crying, and I'm like, I don't know what to do, because I'm just like, I'm crying. I don't want to go take people's orders because I'm like, they're gonna feel bad. And I'm like, no, it's fine. And then she calls back, and then my boss was like, yeah, that's how we're supposed to make them. And then the lady was just getting more mad at her, and I was like, oh, yes, thank you. And my boss was like, she's probably not gonna come back. And I was like, if she does come back, what do I do? And she's like, call me or this other person who will deal with it. And I'm like, okay. But she's like, she's probably not going to come back. I really made her mad because she didn't she didn't hear what she wanted to hear. Also, keep in mind, the dude who took her order is so polite when he's talking to customers. He's like, yes, sir, no, ma'am. Like, he did not set her off in any way at all. Like, literally at all. And she said she was pregnant. Can someone please tell me if that's, like, a pregnancy symptom? Like, she said she was pregnant. Like, But also, the guy who took her order was so polite. He's like, yes, sir, no, ma'am. He would not set her off in any way. So, I don't know why she's so angry. I don't know. But, thank you. Bye-bye. Hopefully, my lovely coworker is commenting, because it was kind of crazy, and she just literally watched the whole thing.
Get ready with me while I do a story time on why me and my dad don't talk anymore. You know the drill. Let's crack open a cold Alani. You guys all have been asking since day one, where's your dad? Do you talk to your dad? How did your dad react when you were pregnant? Long story short, my dad is no longer in my life, and that's just about it. I will say my dad's not like the worst of the worst dads, and I'm not trying to come on here and like him like see this and get mad at me, but you guys have been asking, and so I'm gonna do a story time because I just feel like that's like the one thing I've been hiding from you guys. You guys are not gonna believe this, but yeah, me and my dad actually did have a really good relationship until he found out I got pregnant. And when he found out I got pregnant, he literally hung up the phone, texted me, and like was saying like super mean things. And when I tell you, it's not just mean things. It was rude things that hurt me mentally and will forever stick with me. And he was one of the parents that wanted me to get in a... Most likely, my dad is going to see this because he likes to stalk my TikTok and has his own account. And I've literally blocked all the accounts that had his name in it. But like for some reason, I didn't block the account that he actually is active on. But I won't be surprised if he comments something and says something rude or says something against this whole video because he thinks he's like perfect. He wasn't a bad dad during my childhood. He would do so many things for me. He would do so many things for me and my siblings. I'm not saying he was a bad person overall, but since becoming pregnant, he just has not wanted to talk to me. He says mean things. He is just not happy for my success. He hasn't reached out to me since my daughter was 2 weeks old. I've tried meeting up with him. I've tried hanging out with him. But I feel like he just doesn't approve of my daughter and my fiance, which is just so crazy to me. When I tell you, I was so scared to go back to his house because I didn't know what he was gonna do when he found out I was pregnant. My mom literally kept me for the longest time and still keeps me because I was too afraid to go back to my dad's because I didn't know what he was gonna do. Not like in an abusive way, you guys, just in like a mentally, just not talk to me, just not understand my feelings, not validate my feelings, not let me cry, etc. He was never emotionally available for me. Like, I would try to talk to him during certain situations and he would just not talk to me. Like, he just doesn't have that emotion to talk to me or talk to my brother. And it felt like he always put our other siblings before us. And it's just this whole thing. But ever since then, he hasn't reached out to me. He hasn't want to see me or his granddaughter. So it's kind of just a thing where it's bothering me mentally because it's like I still need my dad, but yet he's so irrational and so not mature. It's just crazy. A good way to explain it is narcissism. But I'm not going to say that out loud just in case if he watches my video and literally like says I'm wrong. But in reality, I'm not wrong. My daddy issues aren't as bad as most people. However, mentally, it's bad. Like, imagine being me and being such an emotional little girl and needing her dad, but her dad can't provide that and mentally hurts her with words. I have read receipts. He said so many things to me that I just keep in my mind and know that, like, even though I try to reach out, he still is going to treat me the same. Everybody's story is different with their dad. I'm not saying mine is the worst of worst because it's not, but it's just mentally hurtful. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have an amazing and blessed day. Bye!
Get ready with me while I do a story time of my whole last weekend. So it was Friday. I woke up feeling super sick, and that day I was supposed to go see my friends. And then I went back to bed and I was sitting there for a while and I'm like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't go, like I don't feel well, but I'm like, you know what, I haven't seen my friends since summer, like I have to go. So I got there kind of late. I had dinner with my family, which was fun, and then I got to see my friends, which was so nice. Friday night went really well. Then Saturday morning, we got up fairly early because there was like stuff going on during the day that we wanted to go to, and we wanted to all get brunch together. We ended up being up and ready early enough to make it to all the events going on during the day, so that was fun. But we were out at 3-ish. I had a flight to catch at 4:15. Long story short, I made it into the airport, everything was fine, got through security, literally was sitting on the plane, like, having the, like, the people on the plane were doing their little presentation about, like, the oxygen masks and everything, whatever. Then they go over the speakers and let us know that something is wrong with the plane. I honestly was freaking out because it's American Airlines, and literally, like, 3 days ago, they were, like, lit on fire, people were on the wings and everything, so I was honestly kind of scared. A few minutes after sitting on the plane, they let us know that we had to deboard for them to fix it. I started freaking out because I had a connecting flight, and the connecting flight, I did have 2 hours, but I didn't know how long this plane was going to be delayed, so I was freaking out because I was like, I can't be stuck in Dallas, Texas. Like, I can be stuck in Madison, I can be stuck in Phoenix or Tucson, but I can't be stuck in Texas. So I'm freaking out. I have a million phone calls to make. Like, I have to call both my parents, and then I had to call my sister's fiance because he was picking me up, and then I had to call my grandparents to see if I could fly to Phoenix so they could pick me up from there. Like, it was kind of just a mess. Eventually, I figured out the flight was going to be delayed for a while, so I switched my flight to the next day at 5 p.m. So literally, like, 24 hours later. I got back to my friend's dorm a little bit later, and I was still, like, hysterically crying because I was just stressed out and, like, frustrated and just annoyed with everything going on. But then everything was okay. We got some food, just sat, talked for a little bit, and then we decided to go out that night. I'm having a great time. It's very different from what I experience here. I'm with my friends from home. Like, it was so fun, and like I met so many of my friends, and I was honestly having a great time. Until I reach in my back pocket to grab my phone and realize that my cat card for my school and my debit card were no longer in the phone wallet that I keep in the back of my phone. I need new concealer so bad. So off topic, but that looks horrible. So my friend's roommate and I go back in and we try to look for my card, cannot find it anywhere. So we had to tell people, like, hey, like, please keep a lookout for this, because I had to leave the next day. Like, the next morning, someone's like, did you get a DM? And I'm like, I don't know. I find in my hidden messages, this girl DM'd me. I'm very grateful she did this, but she DM'd me that she had my cards, and I was like, okay, bless. So at that point, like I said, like, we literally checked everywhere, so I was like happy that the girl had my cards, but since we checked everywhere and couldn't find them, I canceled my debit card. And I'm in Arizona, obviously, and I live in Wisconsin, and my bank is strictly in Wisconsin, so it's going to take more than 10 business days for me to get a debit card. So right now I'm living off of $75 or something on a prepaid credit card. But the girl, so I had to leave. I had to be at the airport around 4 because my plane took off at 5 something. And she didn't get done with work till like 3:30 or 4 or something. So I had to wait for the girl to get back to her dorm. Luckily, her dorm was right next to my friend's dorm, so I didn't have to walk too far, but I was just, like, stressing out because it was just, like, another thing. So, I guess really nothing crazy happened. Like, it's not that big of a deal. It's just, like, my plane broke. Also, that flight didn't even take off the next day till 9:30 in the morning. Anyways, I guess, like, nothing crazy happened. It was just, like, it felt like one of those days where it's just, like, one bad thing just happens after another. Like, in a way, I'm glad my plane was broken because I was able to spend a little more time with my friends, but it stressed me out so bad. But like I said, on the bright side, got to spend some more time with my friends. I flew to Phoenix and got to see my grandparents, and I still made it back safe, and I'm getting a debit card in a few weeks, so that's my story time. I guess that's not that big of a deal, but I, like, made a huge deal out of it.
I actually thought that I was going to die. Get right with me while I talk about how I almost got attacked by a homeless man at a park. Okay, this story happened about a year ago, a year and a half ago. I was with my ex-boyfriend, and he had been talking about this ravine at this park for a long time. It's this park we would always go to. I would go with my family, play sand volleyball. Like, it was a nice park. You wouldn't expect this from a nice park. But he was always talking about taking me down to this little river that's at this park, and you have to go through the woods. He said that he goes there all the time, and he really wants to show me. And so finally one day we went on a little date, and then he took me to the park, and we were just hanging out, and we went down into the ravine. At first, we walked in there, and there was a shopping cart filled with items and, like, a backpack in it. I was like, did someone leave their stuff? And he was like, no, just don't touch it. Like, there's probably, like, a homeless person just, like, chilling out here. And I was like, what? He's like, no, don't worry. Like, it's going to be okay. They're probably not even here. This is a nice park. We have nothing to worry about. So I believed him. So we're walking into the ravine, we're just chilling, he's showing me the spots, and then we go to the little river that he wanted to show me. There's a tree laid over it, like it fell down over the ravine where you can go from one side to the other. And we're just chilling. I took this photo right here. I think I still have it, but it's a be real, and we're just hanging out on the ravine in the tree. And then all of a sudden, we hear rustling. I'm like, is it like a bunny? I don't know. And then I look over, and it's this homeless man with super long brown hair. He's hunched over, very clearly on drugs, like shaking, saying random things, speaking to nobody. I'm like, what is going on? It was weird. We're gonna call the guy I was with, my boyfriend, A. So I'm like, A, come on, like, let's go. And this guy is trying to get across the tree to where I am, and A is in the middle of the tree, walking back to me, and he's just still standing there looking at the guy. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, let's go. The homeless guy has a lighter in his hand. Don't know why he has a lighter, but he's trying to get to us, and he's like saying things under his breath and like speaking a different language. So I'm like, A, seriously, like, let's go. And he's like, okay, like, it's fine. And so we get to the other side, and we're walking away, and I'm trying to run, and A is just walking. I'm like, have some urgency here. He's like, we're gonna be fine. Like, if he tries anything, I could kill a person. A would always talk to me about how he genuinely thought that he could kill someone if he needed to, and how when he gets angry, he blacks out and doesn't remember anything. Red flag. But anyways, this homeless guy's trying to get across the tree, and he can't get over because he's clearly on drugs. And he's just staring at us, saying stuff to us, and nobody else is down there, right? And so he keeps trying to come over, and then he just turns around. So I thought we were safe, but I continued to run. And so in this park, it's like a trail. This is where we entered, and the trail goes this way to where the tree was, and then also goes this way. So I'm trying to get back out, go back this way. The homeless guy is starting to go back that way. I didn't know that they met up. I didn't know that there was two different trails until after it happened. So I start running back to the entrance. A is still walking, and I'm like, come on, like, let's go. And we have been dating for so long at this time, and he's still not listening to me. So I'm getting very, very frustrated at him, and he's just not listening. He's like, it's not that big of a deal. Okay. And so I'm running, and then I can't see A. He's so far behind, but I'm trying to get out. Keep in mind, I didn't know that the trail's connected. So as I'm running, I hear rustling again. And then I look right in front of me, and there's the homeless man. He starts walking faster towards me. I'm like, A, come on, like, help me. So then A finally runs over to me. And I start running back the other way because I had seen a fence and a house. So there was a fence and a house that was connected to the trails for some reason. And so the fence is taller than I am. So I jumped over the fence, scratched my whole leg up because it was like barbed wire, and I'm bleeding. And I'm like, I'm going to go up to this house because I didn't have any service. I didn't have my phone, and I didn't have time to call the police. And so I ran over to this house, and I'm about to tell them to go call the cops. And I just hear A say, put it down. The homeless guy lit the lighter and was trying to light us on fire. And it was like, get any closer and I will punch you. And his fist is cocked back like this. I'm like, my hero. At the time, I thought that. I was like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm actually going to die. I thought this man was going to attack me. And he's walking, like, with his back hunched like this. And he's, like, falling all over the place. And we just hear him yelling up at the hills. And he was saying some random words. And he was, like, screaming for his friend. I'm like, what? Either you're trying to summon demons or something. But I need to get the heck out of here. And so A keeps screaming at him until he finally was like, and then turned back around. Or no, he walked past A. And so A turns around, makes sure he's walking all the way. And then A helps me back over the fence. I'm bleeding. We run back to the park so that we're around people. And we were just like, what just happened? I called my mom. I was like, I almost just died, Mom. Like, and she was like, that's actually really scary. Good thing A was there to help you, blah, 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 protect you. Okay, but, I mean, he did protect me. And I just have always wondered what would have happened to me if I went down there by myself or with, like, a girlfriend or with my sister. Like, what would have happened to us? So that's really the only thing that I'm grateful that A did for me. That's about it. And also, I don't know why A was so persistent on bringing me down there, because it really wasn't that cool. It was literally just a tree over a river. And the river was completely dry. It was a drought season in Texas. Like, there was nothing to look at. So, that was weird. If y'all want any more stories, like story times in my life, stuff like that. I don't have a lot of other ex ones, but I have a few, but I can talk about other things and other experiences that I've gone through if y'all want, if y'all enjoy these types of videos. Because I'm really trying to direct my audience to other kinds of people, because right now it's really just my dancing videos that get a lot of views, and like I want to like direct myself away from that and start actually making like Get Ready With Me's and stuff like that. So let me know what y'all want to see me post, like what kind of content, what kind of stories you guys would like to hear, and I will make those.
Get ready with me when I tell you I don't talk to my little sister anymore. So growing up, me and my little sister, and I'm not gonna name names because we don't talk anymore, we fought like literally all of the time. And so my mom had like a really bad relationship with her sister growing up, and she didn't want that for me and my sister, but surprise, Mom, we don't talk anymore. We started getting closer around like when she turned around 14 and I was like 17, but then shit kind of hit the fan when I went to college. So for context, when we were little, I made up a huge... So when we were little, I somehow convinced my whole family that she had broken a chair over my head. And I was like a little pathological liar, but this is important for the story. So I lied so much that like everyone was convinced, sorry, don't know what that was, but everyone was convinced that that this happened. So that really caused a lot of tension in our relationship. And later on in college, I was like, you remember this? That's so funny. And she just got so mad that like I turned all of our friends against us because of that little incident. Which personally I think is like really inconsiderate and self-centered of her, because like we were 3. I was 3, she was like 2. No, she was 3. I was 7. Like, that's just so inconsiderate. And she made like a huge deal about it, and she's like, Eva, like I just need some break, like I can't believe you lied to me like our whole life. And I'm like, we were just kids. So it's like, she also, our whole life, like I've been the prettier sister. And so but at a certain point, people started calling us twins. That didn't sit right with me. And I got to the point, like, everyone in college was like, oh my god, you're twins. And I just hated that. And I just feel like she was really just copying me at that point. What I would do, make it happen, like... And so I just got to the point where I was like, I'm so tired of people saying we're twins. Because I would show people at college parties and be like, look how ugly my little sister is. Like, I'm prettier, right? But it got to the point where I had to confront her about it, because people were saying we're looking like twins. So I said to her, I said to my little sister, I called her up one day, and I was like, Karis, like, oh shoot, I said her name. I was like, Catherine, like, all these people are like saying we're twins. Like, isn't that so funny? Because like I'm obviously prettier. And she just kind of stared at me because we were on FaceTime, and she's like, Eva, you know that I'm prettier, right? And personally, like, she had disrespected me in the past, and this was just like a lot of things adding up. It's like, on my character now, you're coming straight for me. And so it started like this...
Even Mom wants you.
And so it just started this like huge argument, and I was like, Kelly, it's not that big of a deal. Like, I'm obviously the prettier sister. And she just wouldn't like admit it. Like, who's that delusional? So we were arguing, and I just ultimately decided I didn't need someone that delusional in my life. Yeah, I hung up, and I blocked her on everything. And yeah, you're like, Eva, how do you do it? Like, it is a little sad, because my little sister was my best friend, but
And sometimes, I'm gonna be honest, I do pretend that we have conversations with each other, but it's like, yeah. Do you have highlighter? I left mine at college. Okay. And so, like, moral of the story is you just need to cut toxic people out of your life, even if they're your little sister and they were your best friend, because, like, you don't need people who say they're prettier than you in your life. And you also don't need people who don't appreciate your quirks, like, pathologically lying. She's also still in contact with my ex-boyfriend, so I don't know what that's about.
You're about to go be in contact with her.
And don't feel bad about cutting your sister off. I mean, my mom's called me every day, begging me to reach out to her again. Mom, I had to stand on business. If I show my sister, Caroline, that I'm weak, who else is gonna think that? And I am the happiest that I've been in a while now.
Can I try your skin tint when you're done?
No, Karis. Another thing I just remembered, she literally will not stop wearing my clothes. I see on my stalking Instagram that she's posting in my clothes while I'm at college. Stop it, ew. That's fan behavior. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this Get Ready With Me. If you have any questions about cutting off family members, just DM me or text me. And I hope this was an inspiration to you. Let me know if you want to hear any horror stories about my little sister.
I'm gonna tell you about this girl that was crazy obsessed with my boyfriend, okay? So, I get with my boyfriend, and then, like, 2 days later, I get a hey girl text, and I, like, read it, and I'm like, oh, this is weird. Like, she's like, are you dating so-and-so? And I'm like, yeah, I am. She's like, oh, like, he just stopped talking to me. Like, I wonder why. So this girl, she seems nice enough, so I asked my boyfriend about it, and then he kind of explains it, and, like, this part isn't that big of a deal, so I'm, like, being very brief. But he explains that, like, he was talking to both of us at the same time, but, like, ended up choosing me, and then, like, immediately blocked that girl. Like, good job. So, like, I didn't really talk to her after that, but, like, a few weeks go by, and she, like, adds me on Snapchat, and I thought it was kind of odd, so I added her back, and then she starts snapping me, and I'm a little petty, so I only start snapping her back when I'm with my boyfriend, but then she just starts asking me, like, weird questions. She's like, what do you guys do when you're together? Like, why would I tell you that? That's weird. And, like, literally, like, once a week, this girl is asking me about the status of my relationship. Like, that's really weird. Like, I get it, she has a little crush on my boyfriend because he's, like, amazing and beautiful. So, eventually, I end up blocking her because I'm like, this girl is so weird and so obsessed with me and my boyfriend. And I really don't think anything of it. Like, literally, I want to say, like, 6 or 7 months go by, and I totally forgot about this freaking girl. So I really forget about her, and then one day I'm, like, looking at my boyfriend's TikTok profile because, like, I like to see what he reposts and stuff like that, and I noticed that his follower count goes up by 1, so I click on it, and it's like this weird account, like, with a weird username. It has no profile picture, so I click on it, and imagine my surprise when it's this freaking girl who made a new account just to post thirst traps and follow my boyfriend. Literally all of the videos on it were thirst traps that had, like, just been posted in the past, like, 2 days to 24 hours. And I am like, what? And the only person that she's following is my boyfriend. Obviously, he didn't follow her back, and when I told him about it, he was like, oh my god, I didn't even notice. That is, like, actually so weird. So then I go to find her main account, but then I realized she blocked me on TikTok, so then I, like, switch over to, like, a random, like, burner account, and I look her up, and then I see she like, back then had a whole boyfriend while she was, like, making thirst traps specifically for my boyfriend. So I take my petty ass right to this girlfriend's boyfriend's account, and I take screenshots of everything, and then I explain the whole thing to him about how she was obsessed with my boyfriend, would not, like, stop asking about us, like, literally once a week, and I did not know how he was gonna react. And then he tells me, he's like, I'm sorry she's a child. Like, that's so funny. And he was, like, apologizing. He was like, I'm sorry that she's so obsessed with you guys. And, like, that's crazy. Like, why does your boyfriend have to apologize on your behalf? Like, you seriously have a whole freaking boyfriend and you still want mine? I need to find the screenshots of me and that guy's conversation, and I will literally look for them and post them. Also, not to mention, this girl doesn't even live near us, okay? And she lives in the same state, but like 3 freaking hours away. Like, seriously, what are you doing? So I could finally speak my truth out here because it's been a few years since this happened, so